Hey, we're live. I'd like to welcome you to the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast, Wednesday edition. My name is James. I'm going to be your host. I have a fine young lady with me tonight who fishes in Florida. Man, I love Florida. Just memories of my late father. Man, she doesn't live far away from where my late father lived either. And I think I told you guys, my dad lived right on the Harris Lake chain, the Harris chain of lakes on Griffin Lake. She doesn't live far away from that. Anyways, Katelyn Schniepp from Florida. How
Hi.
you doing tonight, Caitlin?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Man, you and I were talking before the show. You like to fish largemouth bass.
Yes.
And largemouth bass in Florida, what a great place to fish largemouth bass. That's just I like to fish in places where every cast I can catch an 8 pound plus. That, that's just fun for me.
hmm
And you like to fish speed worms, Zoom speed worm.
Yes.
Do you fish that weightless? Do you fish it with, wacky rig? Do you fish it Texas rig, Carolina rigged?
I like it Texas rigged, or I just won't put a weight on it and throw it out. But a little tiny weight helps me get it out there.
Sure.
Otherwise, it won't cast far enough for where I need it to go. So I usually do the same setup every time because it works.
So you fish okay, Florida, large reservoirs, large lakes, canals. I guess you don't call them bayous, but canals, ponds.
I like ponds. I'm in an area where there's so many little tiny ponds um, that I can go after work or go in between things that I have to do and just pond hop. And I have certain ponds that are my favorite, but I also I spot out, I look on Apple Maps with the geographic thing turned on so I can look at what's around the pond, and I'll put the pin in, drop the pin, and go there. And I've found that to be really fun because it's secluded little ponds that no one knows about really, and they're full
That
of big
sounds
bass.
fun.
hmm
Just living in the same type of climate you live in. I hope it's not marshy around the pond because there's things that live around the water around here.
Yeah, I've had some gators come, very close encounters with gators, and I just had one before we went on this podcast. The gator, it's the little tiny one that you would play with, but he was pretty aggressive, like coming up to me and seeing all the what I have going on. I've had one come up that I didn't even realize because I had my AirPod in and I was taking the hook out of my bass to throw it out, and he was right there.
Yeah, I've had gators try to take crappies away from me as I'm bringing them in. Not so much in Florida, but here in Louisiana,
hmm
3 footers. I swear they can walk on the water.
Oh yeah, they're fast. I'm scared of them.
Yeah, I'm scared. Those 3 footers, they're very aggressive.
Yeah,
The 5 footers don't have to be aggressive. They can just kind of hang out.
yeah. they I don't like gators at all. So
So you like to fish ponds, but you also fish for other fish like the peacock bass. Are the peacock bass around there in Central Florida and East Central Florida?
no, we go down to the Everglades, like Ochopee. It's I think a 4 hour drive, and we go there pretty frequently. And we walk out really far. We have to have waders, and we're chest deep in the Everglades swamp to get to this big pond that has it's loaded with peacock bass. Every time we cast, we get one. So,
So how big are these peacock bass?
um, it depends on the time of year. I'd say right now, my boyfriend he's out there fishing, and they are the biggest I've seen, like 6 pounds, I'd say. But usually they're around 3 to 4. But
I don't
they're
know.
fun.
The only peacock bass I ever caught were in my dad's. My dad lived in Weston, which is just north of Miami, and he had some peacock bass in the retention pond that was in his backyard. I mean, the ones we caught were probably 12 inches long. That was it. How long would a 4 pound peacock? How long would it be?
Um, a little less than 12. I I don't know, around 8 to 10 maybe. It's
8
hard
to
to
10 inches long.
gauge.
Wow, that is one chunky fish.
Yeah, they're fun. I love catching them. They're super aggressive, so the fight's really fun. Um, I don't know. They're just fun to catch. My dad says that he's been trying to catch one for 30 years and he can't. So it's like one of those things that I can brag about because I've done it and he hasn't. So, because he's done everything
So
else.
what do you use to catch peacock bass?
This last time I went, we used a swim bait. I'm not sure exactly which one it was. I think it was a G-Rat, that company G-Rat baits. Um,
Okay,
those are good, but I don't really like those because the treble hooks. I hate
no,
treble
I
hooks.
don't like
I always
treble hooks.
get caught up on them. But I feel like if you threw a piece of gum out, they would hit it. So,
Wow,
mhm.
wow. Yeah, you must be secluded because in the lake that my dad lived on, they weren't that hard to. I mean, they were pretty hard to catch. We had to go to we had to drive almost into Miami to find live bait, minnows to bring them back. And the only way I could catch them is just a minnow on a hook. No weight, no bobbers, no nothing. Just kind of wait out in this pond and just cast it. There was a big a big concrete culvert out there.
Oh yeah,
And
that's a good.
the clown knifefish and the peacock bass just hung out around that thing.
That's fun. I like that. I haven't caught the clown knife yet. That's my next goal.
And, so let's talk. Let's go back to largemouth bass. Since you fish the great state of Florida, what's the biggest one you've ever caught?
Oh boy. So I have two that I can think of. I never carry a scale with me for some reason. So
Okay.
I've
Well, thank you
caught
for being
the,
honest about that.
but I do have I have weighed some on the rare occasion that I do have the scale. And the one that I caught, my first huge one, from what I would say, was 8 pounds, a little over 8 pounds, and that
Damn.
one was I was stoked because I had casted out um a little like pink worm. It was one of those weird gradient ones that we got at a little Ace Hardware or something, and I casted it, and the wind kind of took it and casted it like right on the bank. So I was reeling it in really quick so I could recast it out, and that's when I this fish hit, and it was massive, and it's been my favorite fish that I've caught. Um, and then I caught one that I think is bigger, but I was in a kayak and I did not have a scale, but it did look bigger for
Well, I
sure.
tell you, I love it when you hook into a big largemouth bass and you're using big equipment, you're using heavy equipment, and you just tie into that thing, and it's in shallow water, so there's nothing it can do but to come up, and you see that big old mouth.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That
so
is so
fun.
much fun. That is so much fun. I just can't get enough. Well, I'm addicted to fishing as it is. I don't care if it's a 10-inch bass. I still love to catch them.
Me too. I'll go for
So,
hours.
so tell me about polluted waters outdoors.
So polluted waters. My boyfriend is a captain, um, and I started my Instagram thing like when I was just trying to get a one area that I could have all my fishing pictures and videos because I talked about it to everyone and I'd want to show it to him. But then my thing started gaining following, and his thing was starting. So we kind of came together, and they benefit each other. But we do a lot of airboat based hog hunts, bow fishing trips, and we've taken people down to our spot in the Everglades and done that with them. We actually caught a boy his first big bass at that pond, and he was really excited about that. But we also have lodging and stuff, so it's a full service like adventure kind of business.
So polluted waters outdoors, you would take someone to a lodge, and then they can fish or hunt out of that lodge with you.
Yes, we have the lodge. It's right on the river, and our house is on the other side of the river. It's faster for us to get to our river house by airboat. So we pick our clients up at our river house, and they can fish. It's on the St. John's. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
So so they can fish for largemouth bass, peacock bass.
Yep. They can also, the neighbor next door, Rodney, he's just like an old timer from Florida. He caught some sunshine bass, which were really pretty.
Sure,
So they have
those
the
are
fin.
we
Yeah.
know those as striped bass up here. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
around here they're called barfish, but up north they're called striped bass.
Oh. Huh.
Hybrid stripers, yes.
That's cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things out there. The St. John's is, I mean, we're on the river all the time, at least 4 times a week. The things that are in there, I don't know, it's just crazy.
So so on the St. Johns River, do you guys fish out of the airboat?
Occasionally, we go to it's called it's not the wetlands, but it's area something. It's like the stick marsh, and they have certain, like, you can tell airboaters, it's made for airboaters to go. So we've gone there and done that. But I like the simple pond hopping because the boat's a lot.
Okay. Do you take your clients pond hopping or?
No, I've never done that. I don't do that myself because it's kind of something that I like to do and just clear my head and not have to worry about other people and catching them fish. But I've thought about it.
Well, I'll
So
tell you, if there's 7 pound bass in there, I don't care if I have to stand on the side of a
yeah,
pond. I just won't. It's just I'm gonna put on some boots and I'm gonna go.
me too. I agree. We
If,
pull off on this side of the road a lot, so I'll be like not prepared at all. I'll have on my little fancy little sandals and like shorts, and we'll see the pond on the side of the interstate with fish just biting, and we'll have to hop the fence and do all that, and I'm not prepared at all. But so either way, if I see a pond popping off, I'll go.
well, I tell you, being from Louisiana, you don't. If you ever come to Louisiana, don't do that.
With the ponds?
Don't. Somebody
Why?
owns that. Somebody owns that pond. They would not be happy about you being there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you can do it in Florida, man, I hope Louisiana's going to be like that sooner or later. I've seen a lot of places around here. I'd like to just you know grab the fishing rods I have in the back of my SUV and catch me a 10 pounder out of that pond. But
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I don't think I'm like welcome to to go there, but I mean, I'm just fishing, and if the county owns it, I mind
yeah,
my own business. I clean up around the pond if I need to, and I've had cops pass me and like honk, like they know.
yeah. No, I'm just saying I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
jealous.
in a good spot.
So tell me about Outdoors with Kate.
That is my kind of social media project, I guess you could say.
Sure.
I hated social media. I've always had it. I never posted on it because why would I? But I had it to keep up with people. And then when I would go to work, I would tell my coworkers the stories from like that day or that night because I'm go, go, go. Like we never stop. If I'm not hunting or fishing, I'm working, and it goes from one to the other. So I always had these crazy stories to tell and the videos and pictures to go along with it. And they'd look over my shoulder and like want to see the pictures, and I'd have to scramble to find them. Or you know how it is, like the angle. You have a picture that you like, and you want to show them the good angle. So I started posting it so that I could also pull it up on anywhere. Um, and I guess it just started doing really well. I had a lot of companies start to follow me, and people kind of followed along because I go every day. Or back then, I was going from the time I got off work, like 2 p.m. until nighttime. So I had a lot to post, and I would write story like what was going on about it, and people just started following along. And now I have, I think, 14,000 people.
Wow.
um, yeah, it's really. it's been really great for me because it's been a good outlet. It's something that I don't know, I care a lot about it. Like I put a lot of work into it, and it's something I'm really proud of. And I didn't think I'd like it at all. So,
Well, that's great. So tell me, largemouth bass or peacock bass? What's your favorite?
oh, peacock bass.
Peacock bass. That's interesting.
They're just so fun to catch.
So have you ever used topwater lures for a peacock bass?
Mm, I haven't. I don't have. I feel like you really don't have to. They're so aggressive.
No, it would be so much fun to see
It
a
would.
great big peacock bass just grab that and set the hook in him and see him jump because he's already up there on the top of the water.
Our spot that we go to in the Everglades is very clear. We can watch them. We watch them like take it or hesitate. It's really cool.
So clear water, man, clear water presents a lot of unique problems. We don't have clear water in Louisiana, but I did have clear water up north where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make long casts to catch these peacocks then?
No. Mm-mm.
Wow. Because like in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where I like to fish for smallmouth bass, you would pull your boat over and you could see the fish in 15 feet of water on the bottom, and they would go.
Mm.
Well, but also these fish get hammered. I mean, they have tournaments every weekend, and sometimes 300 boats in a tournament,
Yeah.
and people fish for them every day of the open water season. Well, every day you can get on Green Bay. Green Bay is a dangerous body of water, but there are days when wouldn't even take my 20-foot boat out there.
Wow. Yeah,
But
that's scary.
it was scary. There were also days when I took my boat out and shouldn't have,
hmm
but I'm a fisherman. I, I have no excuse for myself other than that.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yes, do anything you got to do to catch fish, but I'm
hmm
still here. So the place you're fishing is so remote that the fish aren't even afraid of you.
No, they're not afraid of you at all. It is so remote. I was so scared the first time I went. They were talking about it and telling me what to expect, and I was nervous. I had on Hey Dudes. I was not prepared. I had to tie my Hey Dudes to me to walk through the water, and that's when I got some waders. Now I go in
Yeah.
those. But there's gators, the biggest gators I've ever seen in my life, and
Hmm.
they have like three humps on them, and they're, you know, they see you, and there's no place to walk off to. You're waiting in water the entire time.
Well,
So
you
it's
you
remote.
can't outswim. You can't outrun a gator. You just
Mm-mm.
stand your ground. Just like I say when I'm surf fishing and I see a bull shark swim by, I can't outswim that thing. I cannot run faster than that thing can swim in the water.
Right.
Stand your ground. Don't act like you're
Yeah.
don't act like you're a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ah we have a comment from the audience. It's a good friend of mine, Cajun Rob Welsh from Kentucky, and he says she is fishing the jungle, Jay. Cajun Rob's been down there. He's fished tournaments all over Florida, so he knows.
Yeah, it is the jungle. It's wild over there. It's like a whole nother country.
Yeah, I can't believe that. But man, I am just fascinated by this. So you catch largemouth bass and peacock bass in the same body of water.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is, and this is where you guys have your outfitter business.
No, our outfitter business is here in Central Florida, but we've taken trips down there with clients. They were from California, and the dad did a good amount of bass fishing in tournaments over there, and he was like amazed by the stuff here. And they also just did, these clients, they had gone to like the Amazon and caught peacock bass there, and they said that it's so different, the peacock bass and there versus here.
Well, they probably get hammered there every day of the year too. They're probably a little bit more skittish, and also it's the Amazon River is also dirty water.
Yeah. There's a lot of scary stuff over there too. They're both like, I feel like the scare level is the same.
I don't think I'd go to the Amazon.
Really?
The most dangerous thing about the Amazon is the other people.
Yeah,
You
that's what
know?
they said. Their guide didn't
Yeah.
even speak English. No one spoke English, and they were camping in a tent for 10 days or something like that. It sounded crazy.
No. Mosquitoes are horrible.
Yeah,
No.
a big group of people, I'd go.
I can be bitten by mosquitoes right here in Louisiana. And
Yeah,
I can
same
catch
here.
bass, and you can catch bass you can catch peacocks in your backyard.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's awesome, you know.
Yeah.
so,
It's a
so
whole
when you
experience, though. I feel like
so,
that's a whole adventure.
so when you take out clients, do you fish for largemouth bass then?
When we take them out here, if we do, yes. We don't do a ton of those because all the other things that we do, they typically want to do more. Um, like I'd say the specialty thing that we do is the airboat hog hunts. We do those with dogs, and people are just like really intrigued by what all that is.
I bet that's interesting.
It's a
That's
crazy, crazy experience.
that's interesting. You know, sometimes when I'm red fishing down in the marsh, we hear those airboats going nuts and dogs all over the place. And
Mhm.
what the heck's going on, man? There's hog hunting. I
Yeah.
can't believe hogs can live in the marsh, but I guess they can.
Oh, they're resilient.
I guess
Very.
they can. He said, you know, those things can eat absolutely anything. They're probably in there eating the pythons.
Oh yeah, for sure they are.
That's
They're mean.
crazy. Oh yeah, they're mean. I've shot a few of them. Not out of airboats.
We don't shoot them really. We just hobble them, and we'll relocate them to.
Really?
Yeah. So it's we go. We're going out almost every night now. So.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really wild over here. The stuff that I get to do, I'm like very grateful that
So you
I live in
hobble
an
them and take them
area
to
like that.
Georgia, then, huh?
You do what?
You hobble them, then take them to Georgia.
Not Georgia.
Okay.
To
Yeah.
another place around here
Just take them
that.
right over the state line. Just drop them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's even allowed because
That's not allowed. That's not allowed. Not even a little bit.
yeah.
In fact, man, no, I shouldn't have even said that.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. Jeez, I shouldn't have even said that. You're right. I don't think no, that's not allowed.
Not allowed.
But you do take people out for largemouth bass around where you live.
Yeah, we have. Yes.
That's so where would you take a client for who wants to fish for largemouth bass?
We take them right on the river.
The
There's
St.
a
John?
on the what? The
On
St.
the
John's.
St.
Yeah.
John? Okay.
Mhm. There's certain spots that we just know that they work. They're good. There's a lot of. I guess it's kind of hard to explain because I'm not sure all the terms for it, but there's little like cutoffs that there like land kind of separates, but you can see that like airboats have gone through, and if it floods, the water definitely connects them. But those spots are the best if they have like the lily pads and all that. So we catch
Of course they
a
are.
few there.
Of course they are. Because a normal boat can't get back there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's why they're the best. Because the tournament fishermen don't go back there. And take the
Yes,
fish out because that's tournaments. You put 5 fish in your live well. Well, if you have 300 boats in a tournament, that's a lot of fish going to one spot.
it is. And I know they run a lot of tournaments on the river where we're at.
In the
I
St.
think
John,
they're
yeah,
at least once a week.
all over the place in the St. John's.
Hmm.
They do that, but
I've
man,
never
so
tried
yeah,
that.
that's where they would get. That's where they would get the big girls, places that other fishermen can't get to. That's an interesting concept you guys have there, taking the airboats back to where other boats can't get to.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really fun, and it's so um like eye opening to see the spots that no one goes to or people don't. It's just weird because there's nothing there, and the animals, they're so shocked to see you. You're like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "What are you doing here?"
It's
So
hard to believe that the state of Florida still has places like that.
I know, I
You
know.
know,
It's sad. We're in a good area, like all around us. It's all wildlife management areas, um, and a lot of protected areas. So hopefully they don't like creep the development over there, but I'm sure
boy, I
they
tell
will.
you, yeah, because between where my father lived and where you live now, there's the villages, which is 100. Actually, I think it's more than 100,000 units in there now. That's why my
Yeah.
dad moved out of Florida because it just got too crowded. And he was
Mhm.
retired, so he moved to Arkansas. Nowhere near as good a fishing.
Yeah, I'd have to live in Florida. Luckily, we're in like the a really rural area, so we'll be fine for a while.
Yeah, that's fantastic because too many people like me, I'm going to be retired here in a few years. And I was actually thinking about moving down to the villages.
Mm, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah, a lot of people there, but you go to the west, there's a Harris Lake chain. You go to the east, there's the St. Johns River. Then there's the Atlantic Ocean. You go
Mhm.
south, you got the Everglades. You got, oh man, all kinds of fun stuff in Florida. All kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, we have everything but mountains.
Yeah, you don't have any mountains. Most of the state, well, no, it's southern Louisiana that's below sea level.
I don't need mountains either, though. I can go. I'm fine with seeing them once a year.
Yeah, mountains are fun. I lived in Alaska for a couple years, and
Oh, I could not.
horseback riding through the mountains was snowmobiling through the mountains, ATVing through the mountains. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. It's just we do
You,
all that here, and we have so many like fun Florida things that we do that
Florida,
I can never leave.
Florida things. I like that. I'm not even going to ask. Florida,
Yeah, I don't know if I could say on here.
Florida things. That's funny.
Florida things.
So, Caitlin, do you have any shout outs you want to do?
Yes. So, for companies, I would say Everglades Fishing Company. They are the first people that had ever sent me anything. I'm really close with them, and from the start, they said that my account will be big. They called it from the start, from like less than 100 followers, and I'm still very connected with them. Their stuff is cool. I've liked them for a long time. And then people, my parents, they help me out. They are really encouraging. I think that I never told anyone when I started all my Instagram stuff, and they finally had to start asking because I kept getting packages, and they're like, "How? Who are you? What are you doing? What are all these boxes coming every day? Like, how are you affording this? Whatever." So finally, I had to tell them, and um, it's not really like my mom's thing, and my dad works a lot, but they're super supportive and they're really excited, and they help me out a lot. And then my boyfriend, we go. He's kind of who helped me out with getting back into fishing. Freshwater was never my thing, and like when we got together, we just pond hopped all the time. He helped me out, and ever since I've been in love with it again, which is really fun. And I go do everything. We do everything together. So I think that's it, really.
Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yes, well, definitely stay in touch. Like I said, if you catch a big bass, let me know. I'll give you a shout out at the beginning of the show. That'll be
Absolutely.
fun.
I will. We should be in the Everglades in a few days, so
I'd like to
I'll let you know.
thank you, Katelyn, for taking time out of your. That was fun. But I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. I know you have a busy schedule. You have a busy fishing schedule, and you had to probably sacrifice the night of fishing to come and talk to my viewers here on the Let's Talk Fishing podcast. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to Let's Talk Fishing podcast this evening. Again, my name is Jay Angel. I was the host of the show with Katelyn Schniepp from East Central Florida.
Thank you
With
so
that,
much.
I'm going to end the podcast, and please stick around, Katelyn. I'd like to talk to you afterwards.